So meditation, a lot of people approach it as a way to get somewhere. You know, we're very transactional in Western world. We're like, if I do this, then I'm going to get that. And that's how I started off with meditation. I figured out at a young age that if I sat and I just let myself be still, then I would feel better. And then I only used meditation. I didn't have a word for it back then, but I only did it when I felt bad. And so for me, it was very transactional until I finally met my teacher and figured out that, there's something more going on, something more to this. And over the years, as I practiced and then started teaching, I began to realize that meditation is actually nourishment. It is what feeds the real essence of our being. It's what brings our inherent light, that unreasonable joy that we are, to the surface. So meditation, for me at least, isn't about just trying to force my being into some structure. It's creating a space in order to feed that light that is me. And so today I want to invite you all to approach your meditation in that way, as a nourishment, and see how that goes. Now, as far as technique, all the techniques really boil down to holding your focus on a single point. Whether you're chanting, whether you're focusing on a chakra, whether you're visualizing, or if you're using an actual visual object to gaze at, it's all about pulling your attention down to that single point. And when we first sit, the first 2 seconds can be pretty easy. It's like, yes, I'm definitely focused in on that. I'm going to be able to do that. And then what happens is our mind wanders. We get distracted. We hear the noise of somebody coming in late. We hear the trash truck show up outside, or we hear a plane go overhead, or we hear different sounds, we smell, we feel, maybe different sensations start to erupt. And the most popular of all is thoughts. Start to spin around our head. We create a whole story. And we get into a whole fantasy within our mind, a whole big story. When that happens, I want you to just say, and you notice that it's happened, just say, oh yes. Welcome back. Because you want that noticing of your mind wandering, of those distractions, to have a positive connotation. Sometimes when we approach meditation and we get distracted, we have this angst, like, I should know better, I should focus harder. And we like tighten up and we try and hunker down. And that creates a very negative experience, and that makes our mind very crafty, because now what it will do is when we're distracted, we'll try to hide that from ourselves. But instead, if we make it a positive experience of, oh yes, welcome back, and then return to the focus, to that one focal point. And we can do that over and over again. We can start to shorten that to just yes, focus. And then to just focus. And then that way, as we're doing our meditation practice, even if we have to pull our focus back 1,000 times, it's making our mind stronger, and you're also building this positive association with catching yourself being distracted. And that will translate into when we practice mindfulness during the day, when you're trying to pay attention to the present moment and observe all that's happening, when you're trying to catch your mind when it starts trolling the gutter of despair. Instead of beating yourself up and saying, oh, I should know better than to focus on all that horrible stuff, you just say, oh yes, welcome back. Let's focus on beauty and gratitude, on what we can actually do in this moment. So for the next about 50 minutes, we will meditate. And again,